welcome to the short video training module on firing tips and tricks. Basically, what I want to do within this video is just emphasize how important it is to fire people the right way, in a respectable way that actually serves your business best. And I was actually recently interviewing the head of a 20-person team, Rand Fishkin from SEOmoz.org, and he basically was saying that he believes that slow to hire, quick to fire is the best policy. And at the same time, I was reviewing a book by Verne Harnish, another book by Jim Collins, and both of them recommended to be very proactive in getting people off your team quickly if they're not a good fit with your culture and not aligned with your goals and vision. So it was funny because I've had this experience in my own life, but then while interviewing these people and looking at these books recently, it just kind of reinforced all of this. So I wanted to make sure that I emphasized it here in this video, how important that is. But there's a lot of considerations that go into firing. One of which is legal considerations. You know, many times in different states and countries, there can be different regulations over how you fire someone. You know, there can be illegal reasons for firing someone if it's based on race or religion or health or age, or many other things. So you have to be very careful, not only what the real reason is for firing them, but also just what you put in writing. Your real reasons could be legitimate, but if you say things in writing that could lead someone to believe otherwise, you might either have a frivolous lawsuit or a lawsuit that's based on a single email or two, when really you had 20 conversations about the real problem. But because there's no documentation of that, you're kind of left without a chair legally and can get in big trouble. So be very cognizant of that. You need to seek legal advice if you're about to fire someone for any reason that could be close to what you think would be risky. They could get you into legal trouble, and it's just good to be cognizant that you should check with your HR department or do a little research on what the rules are based on your country or state that you live in and work in. Another tip is that if you fire somebody, you have to realize that sometimes they're an asset to your business. So while they might not be helping you a lot right now, and it might be a pain to deal with, if they're in the middle of a big business project, you're losing them and their productivity and all the training you put into them. So you might make the decision to fire them very quickly, but maybe they finish that project before you let them know that they're being let go in 2 weeks, because if you let them know they're being let go, they might not come back the next day, that project won't get done, and now you're left without that project. You have to hire a new employee on top of that. Sometimes it can be best to make the decision to get rid of somebody quickly, let them finish the 1 or 2 business projects they're doing, and then let them go. Another tip is to make sure that you realize, you know, if you make a mishire, that there's huge opportunity costs you're missing out on. If you hire the right person, they can be as productive and efficient as 2 people who are mediocre. So hiring the right person means they're going to provide innovative solutions, great suggestions, customer insights they'll pass on to you from the front lines up to you as a business manager. They're going to provide highly efficient work ethic and get a lot of stuff done every day, more than what you ask them for. They're going to go above and beyond what you're requiring of them. Whereas a mediocre employee will say, oh, that took a little longer than I thought, or I didn't quite get to that, or I don't know why we're doing this, or I don't think we should be doing things this way, it just doesn't feel right. And they won't be helpful. They won't provide extra innovative techniques, won't provide suggestions, won't provide much extra help. And you'll be able to feel they're not really working for you on your team. They're there to get a paycheck, and they can get a paycheck somewhere else if that's the case. And so you should, you know, make that a reality for them as soon as possible if they're not really going to be helping grow your business really strategically and proactively. Another tip on firing is that you know, it can create a lot of stress as a business manager if you have somebody on your team who's working against you. And you know, if you write down the top 5 stressors in your business, unless you're brand new to being a business manager and the whole responsibility of being a business manager is stressful, if there's 1 or 2 people on your team that are the core source of one of your top 5 sources of stress in your whole life or in your business work, then you should definitely at least consider firing them or changing the systems, structures, and processes around how you work with them. Many times if an employee is not doing well or if something's not working out, it could be about the processes or the work systems that you have assigned to them. Maybe that needs to be managed better, and you should tweak that and assess that to see if that's the problem. But if everybody else is working efficiently within those systems, then it might just be a mishire. You need to get rid of them as quickly as possible, because there's this opportunity cost. If you replace them, you'll be making that much progress instead of being slowed down it's like you're losing 3, 4, 5 times their annual salary possibly in costs. And there's studies that show that if you hire someone at $40,000 a year, that it's potentially, it could be costing your business hundreds of thousands of dollars by keeping them on if they're slowing down and dragging your business down and stressing you out. Because the more energy you spend being stressed out about one employee on your team, the less energy you have to support and provide yourself as a resource to everybody else, and the less energy you have to innovate and expand your product and service line and deal with high-level customers and report to your board of advisors or other business managers or your CEO. So this is really important. It's not a small detail if there's someone on your team that's really a big hassle to deal with. Another tip for firing is just to, as kind of a last point here, is just to remember that every time you hire someone, it's going to take 2 to 3 months, maybe even 1 to 2 years to get them fully trained, versed in all the parts of your business, versed on the true meaningful benefits of your product. It can be easy to show them your frequently asked questions and your benefits, but to really have them get a sixth sense of what customers are afraid of on the phone, what they're hinting about over email, what's really going to be strong and powerful to talk about while working with clients or putting together that next product, it's going to take a while, at minimum 2 to 3 months, and lots of times 1 to 2 years or more. So that retraining period is really costly. Your business is really investing $50,000, $100,000 in training each person you bring on. So be really careful who you select. Make sure that they deserve to get that training. Don't try to hire people as close to minimum wage as possible. You're going to get minimum effort in most cases long term. And really plan to bring people in for the long term. Giving them some small benefits and making the business environment a fun and great place to work and stay is a small price to pay for having loyal employees that really help you grow your business exponentially long term. So the point of this video is really to drive home the importance to avoid mishires. Be careful about how you do job interviews. Be careful who you select to hire in the first place, and just be aware of how high the costs are of keeping someone on your team who is not a great fit and is really kind of slowing down the momentum of your business. So hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to make more money.